it was too overwhelming? I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it as a fade in. That it was too loud, probably. Yeah. All right. It's blasting. I see. So, doing the show over the last, over the weekend, it was great. The multiple shows, doing all these shows, driving around, seeing different groups, playing different size venues and different style of venues. It was just great. It was like doing a month's worth of touring in 4 days. It was very, because I'm used to sticking around in one spot for the whole weekend. And so it was nice that way. Thanks to everybody who came out and I have to say, there is an increasing number of people who are coming up to me at the shows and saying they watched this. Some knew me from other stuff and came to watch this, and some people had no idea who I was and came to and decided that they were gonna watch that. They just randomly found this somehow. I don't know. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying, it's fantastic. Do I miss Lab Rats? Yes, I miss doing family comedy every day. Who wouldn't miss that? It's lovely. So yeah, I did CSL, and good to see you here with us as well. And man, it was really fun. Thank you for coming out Saturday night, Diane. Yeah, it was a great show. I hope you get to meet me at a show sometime too. You found me from Titus. Thanks. Well, he's a brother from another mother. He's my Viking brother with the flat top. Thanks. I should be good at what I do after all this time. At a certain point, you can't even brag about it anymore. You damn well better be good at it if you've been doing something this long, right? There's so much to this. And by the way, I look forward to even more gigs coming up. The next live show I've got on the books is, of course, Yamava Indian Casino in Riverside, California with Nerd Halen, April 1st. Anybody in the area, let us know. Super fun. That's going to be great, and more shows to be added all the time. Here we go. Oil prices are nuts. Oil prices are not nuts. They're still lower than they were in 2014, and if I do recall, there was no pandemic in 2012, and there was no, while there was a border dispute with Russia and Ukraine at that time, and they did invade, it wasn't a worldwide oil problem. So by comparison, we're doing snappy. There will be a lot of, by the way, like and subscribe. We have a thumbs up. We are within swanging distance of, we are in swinging distance of the 30,000 number. So please give a thumbs up and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you can, if you have the means and the wherewithal, the thumb space, the attention span, the ability, the focus, the drive, any of those things, and all of those things are welcome. Hi, Portland. I hear Portland is burned down entirely and is just embers at this point. You can't even go to the store. You have to, all transactions are at gunpoint between neo-Nazis and Antifa and stuff. It's the worst coffee shops in the world. Yes, the sound is way better because I'm home. It helps immensely. Would there be a Lab Rats reunion? I hope so. Good morning, Sparklers. Yes, I have water this morning. Albuquerque. All right. Just paid $748 to fill your truck. Most I've ever paid ever. I'm guessing that's a 18-wheeler. Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, oh, Sylvia, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. How would you think about the New York DA declining to prosecute Trump? It sounds like they're punting upstairs. That's what I think. It sounds like they're acquiescing to federal charges. So we'll see. That's the local charge. The local charge, they do not have, and this is one of the reasons why Trump humped along for years without ever getting in trouble for all the crap he was pulling, was essentially that New York is so overwhelmed. Yeah, 145 gallons. That sounds about right. That New York is so overwhelmed with like corruption and fraud and money laundering, especially in the real estate market. Hype train. Right on. Twitch. Thank you guys. Twitch.tv/HalSparks. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't in a while. That's good stuff there. And by the way, I do not have Gene Simmons hair today. You just can't see how long it's hanging because I straightened it. Because it was frizzy because I was in Michigan and it was rainy there. I've admitted to straightening my hair. It's true. Actually, Summer had the straightener out this morning, and I just did a couple, and I was like, all right, I guess I got to commit to this business. So yeah, New York has always been that sweater thread they are afraid to pull, because the minute you start, it's never ending. I think it's going to change. I do think that one of the best things that's going to come out of this secondary effects is of what's going on in Ukraine right now, and the recognition by the world, I think, of the Russian corruption, is that people, the Russian oligarchs that own a shit ton of New York real estate, LA real estate, Chicago real estate, and they hide their money there, and then they keep their money there and keep those apartments or those office buildings empty or overpriced, which drives up the price everywhere else. That artificial weight on sort of the market around real estate in the United States is going to get removed. So that's good. Yeah, $6.50 in British Columbia. Yeah, I don't. Thanks, Jane. I don't see anybody in the Freedom Convoy going, well, at least we ain't got them Canada prices. Yeah, it's going to go up and then it's going to come down. The oil futures are actually predicting that it's going to come down because production is going to go up. And if Saudi Arabia doesn't do it, and part of the reason why they might not is because I think they're actually low on it. That's another theory that I've been at for a little while. And some people agree with me and other people want to fight me on it which is a mistake. I'm just saying. It's a mistake. What is this? Why is that guy kind of shady? What's happening? Oh, I know. Hold on. Ethan, I think, turned my light down. Hold on. That's better. Yeah, the light had turned down, so it was creating a shadow over there. It was bugging me. Yeah, $2 a gallon in Russia, according to YouTube vid. Yeah, U.S. using the exchange rate of towards U.S. dollars before the war. Did I watch the Bill Barr interview? Not yet, because I want to cover it on the show, so I have not watched it. I know what he said on a couple of points, but I'm trying to avoid it so we can watch it together. If Cadillac smallish SUV, let me know, brother, left us with this to sell. Oh my God, Templeton. There you go, Stephanie. Get the production value up. Well, that's the thing. I mean, why would Shell go against what the world is doing? Shell isn't. They're in line with all the other companies as well. They're just refusing to move on it right now. What they're doing is they're waiting for the government to make them stop, so they don't have to answer to their shareholders for doing it, because their shareholders are not Americans, largely. I mean, there's retirement funds and stuff like that are in it, and that absolutely plays a part. But you have to understand the American stock market has investors from all over the planet, and a big portion of them, especially the uber wealthy from other countries that invest in our stock market because it's safe and it's functional compared to theirs, don't give a rat's ass. And they may not be the ones that show up when there's 30 shareholders at Exxon going, we own 9 shares, you should do what we say. And these guys own 600,000 shares or something ridiculous. How about appreciating you have, yeah, first world problem. How about appreciating you have a vehicle to drive anywhere you want and gasoline available to buy? Nothing like what the Ukrainians are experiencing. Exactly, Leslie. Well said. You're picking at me. Show production value. Thanks very much. I'm working on it. I just had to, fix that little bit that was over there. It was bugging me. It was because last night Ethan asked me to do an interview for his journalism class, so we changed the lights in here a little bit when I rolled in and got off the plane and came straight in here and sat down and was like, had to do an interview about what I do for a living. I'm like, oh yeah, what do I do for a living? We bought new USPS trucks with 9 miles per gallon, thanks to Joy. Yeah, but we also are getting, because of the American Rescue Plan and the infrastructure bill, a lot of electric trucks. So a lot of those gas guzzlers are being canceled. Title from the Russian gas prices video says after the 2022 sanctions. Yeah, that was after the primary sanctions, before the banking sanctions, and before the ruble crashed. So yes, technically after they were imposed, but not after they took effect. Because a lot of these sanctions are going to grind over the next few weeks and months and get worse and worse. And a lot of these things too, it's going to take time to get them back online. One of the reasons why they didn't do them right away was because it's going to take, do you just say I do everything for a living? Just about, yeah. Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for the super chat. One of the reasons, well, there's been a lot of back and forth about the sanctions, about whether they would work and all that kind of stuff. And it's clear that they are working and they were going to work on the level of seriousness that everybody was talking about. But we got so used to Trump's bluster, where he's like, there never before ever felt anything in any time before this. But since his nonsense about the best ever, the most ever, the greatest ever, like no one's ever seen before, like no one's ever seen before, like no one's ever seen before. It takes the kind of oomph out of that kind of language. We are seeing, we are genuinely seeing sanctions like no one has ever seen before, and they are affecting this. They are changing the narrative in Russia amongst the citizenry, and that's a good thing. Now, it's a shame that that's what it takes, but then a lot of them have been BS'd by the news that it's okay, and no one's immune from it. The only difference is that, in Russia, it's an active measure. In the rest of the free world, it's a passive measure. Either news playing footsie with both siderism and kind of tiptoeing around issues and being cautious, or overtly so when they know better, and which ultimately results in them sometimes burying stories that they don't think are there yet. That kind of stuff. That's sort of passive journalism, journalistic control by government, because there's a level of trust which has been earned, and then there's a level of distrust that is overblown, and then the balance between the two of those, the news kind of goes, well, most of the time they do that kind of stuff. It's very different than in Russia, which is an active measure. They actively shut down networks, they actively cancel shows, they actively kick people off and lock them up. And the funny thing is these truckers act like they are under the effect of an active measure instead of just being alive during a complicated period. Because that's where we are. I mean, have all your theories you want about COVID and where it came from and where it's going. But the reality is most of us are reacting to normal human beings at different levels of control and power and responsibility, reacting to an ever-changing circumstance of increasingly, increasing and decreasing levels of complexity on the move. That's what this was. I will indeed, William, at some point, quite soon. So, what does CSL need a sub gift? Do you? Does CSL need one? It certainly doesn't hurt. Can you rebuild the engine in your vehicle, Hal? Yes. Although while my truck is complicated and has some computer parts in it, the main mechanical parts, yeah, I could fix them and put them back together. I need a new set of torque wrenches. Because right now I just have kind of like house tools. But yeah. 666 super chat. We got 666 people in the chat. Please feel free to gift $6.66 to the show. Help us keep our head above water. Help us pay the bills. Help us keep the lights on. Support the show in any way you can. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Come see me live. All right. Oh, right, the Cash App logo. That's not on here. It's on. I have to send it to the phone and something else. Hold on. I have to transfer it over because let's see. Yeah, I have to I took that picture on my phone and I have to put it on what would be this computer to you guys, but this computer to me. Which is down here, actually, now that I think about it. But I'll put it on there. I will put it up by this afternoon show. Thank you so much. Thanks, Joy. Greed of Reaganism voodoo has hypnotized people to believe the only reason to do anything is to make money. There was a time when people did things because they wanted to serve a need. Jesus cares, share gospel. I appreciate you, Desert Claire, but that is hooey. That is in the whole of human endeavors. Self-interest has been a huge driving force. Reagan didn't invent greed by any sense. They romanticized it in some case, but in no way is this indicative of some sort of shift in humankind, nor is it unique to the United States. I mean, what we're seeing playing out in Russia effectively right now is greed run amok. We do not have that in the United States. We don't. I know everybody's been like, been told this narrative for a long time, but it's frankly not true. Hal, did you hear Blinken's statement comparing what's happening to how Hitler's forces attacked Russia and killed Putin's baby brother? No, but I've made the comparison multiple times about the invasion of Poland and the Sudetenland, and it has a lot more in common with that. The only difference is that there's not a blood and soil aspect to what Russia's doing the way there was with the Nazis and with Hitler. In his case, there is a more a geographical territory aspect to this that is again about bragging rights, again ego and and complete like absurd levels of. I guess it's his desire for a legacy run amok. Unfortunately, humans tend to be selfish. Well, no, we work in groups, but we're it is in some ways our base nature. Let's see. See the one in the picture? What? Has social taken a shit? Yes, it has. I don't know what the hell. That's hilarious. It's getting beautiful. It's getting more and more beautiful every day. I'm sort of, that's my little popcorn fetish right now, is looking at how badly Truth Social is. Yeah, the Russian tank convoy. That's basically what it is. Freedom Convoy Rusko. Are you kidding me? How Americans are lazy, self-absorbed, and panty-waisted bunch of couch surfing crybabies. Hey, The Walking Dead is on boat. Nah. Not en masse. We had the best voter turnout in our history in 2020. That may have been true 15 years ago. It is increasingly not. And the more people try to deny people the right to vote, the more people are starting to take their vote seriously. I also think that what's going on in Ukraine is giving people a contrast as well. And I don't write off my fellow humans just because of the representation of them that gets on television. You read an article about Truth Social? Like the screaming. Oh, there was sorry. Paul, thank you for the super chat. Since Russia is attacking nuclear power plants, the radiation can affect parts of NATO countries. Can't NATO step in? No. No, they cannot. Luis, thank you so much. And hold on. Oh, Daryl, thank you. Vanilla, an extra 6 for good measure. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thanks for letting me know you did that on purpose too. I always get nervous when people do big super chats and that they did on. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Aaron, thank you. Love you as well. Joy, thank you. Luis, Paul, Blue Trucker, thank you as well. And Jim, thanks for subscribing as being a member on on YouTube for 2 months. Thanks. And thanks for appreciating the morning show, guys. I know it's not the kind of direct action style that we do in the afternoon show, but it's nice to be able to have a chit chat with everybody here. It's not a full AMA, but it's close. Hal, do you think if Putin is successful or semi-successful and is successful in Ukraine, he will decide to move on Poland, or will NATO scare him away from trying to do that? He will not try to move on Poland. He'll move on. He'll try to reclaim the Balkans, and he'll feel more adventurous to push down into like the southern breakaway states, and then maybe gets a wild hair up his ass about trying to take Afghanistan again, which would be hilarious and stupid and silly stupid. So oh my gosh, thanks Jim for the super sticker. So no, I also think that he's going to fail massively anyways. It doesn't matter. Like, he's already failing. There is no upside to this ever again. Like, there may have been a point where he could have gone into the eastern sides of it, dicked around, we fired back, we sent stuff, they fought valiantly, they pulled back, and he ended up getting a little more land. He was salami slicing his way, but he decided to go for broke and screwed the pooch. And there is no way that this settles back into the norm where people trust him again or any of the people around him again in the interim. Let's see. Foggy, you can slow the chat on, good Lord. You can slow the chat on Facebook, but not on YouTube, unfortunately. Greg, thanks for that. Oh, Jean, thank you. Jean Marie Ashman, thank you. Have a sandwich and a drink on me. I will need one. Thank you. You can tell my voice is extra leathery after a weekend of stand-up. Yeah. Not now when it's fast. Well, that's all relative. It's hard to tell. So, yeah. And bless you. And Petrobit, thank you for the super chat. There you go. I will definitely, I'll wrangle up a sandwich, Gene, this afternoon. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up to the show, share. You can comment below if you see them later. I just posted a bunch of videos, and I'll be posting a bunch more from last week's shows. I'm a little behind on getting those posted. I can do it on YouTube. Not in the, I don't know where the thing is in here. Hold on. Live chat. Here we go. Can-a-do-ba-do-ba-do. Viewer activity. Analytic stream health merge. Edit. Do this thing or do. Create a poll note thing. I guess I have. Yeah, it doesn't give me a button for it in the stream studio, which is where I do the show from. I think I might have to be outside it. I think you can slow it down to watch it if you want, but slow it on YouTube, just click on it. You can scroll as fast or slow as you want, at least on my Samsung. Yeah, usually you can like hold it. Zelensky was frothing at the mouth yesterday after Russia bombed families trying to escape during the ceasefire. Yeah, the quote-unquote ceasefire, which according to Jimmy Dore, it's the Ukrainians that kept violating it, and so they kind of have this coming. Oh my God. Just don't get me started. Stuttering John has it in slow mode. That might just be lack of people. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm actually going to be on his show tomorrow. In his afternoon show. I'm going to be on Stuttering John tomorrow. So yeah, there you go. Mine is also a multi-chat, so everybody's in there from a bunch of different sources, so that also makes it go very fast, and I apologize. And I wish I had more cross-post ability to manipulate things. Hi, Restream. One of everything you do is magic, but that would be a good fix. Yeah. You guys made up. There was no, honestly, there was no breakdown. Help please, Tech Nerd here. What's the trick signing up for Hal's Twitch via Amazon? Please, couldn't find it. Thank you so very much. Can somebody, I think CSL has a link on that, Debbie. He'll post it so you can look at it. That gives you the kind of, yeah, because you can sign up and support the show on Twitch for free if you have Amazon Prime. Yep. And one of these days, because Amazon owns Twitch or runs it or whatever the hell, they have these things called watch parties, and I've been toying around with wanting to do those where you watch a movie together or something, and everybody, all your subscribers can watch a movie as long as they're Amazon Prime members. You can watch them together, which is hilarious. So yeah, I've never noticed the difference between top and live chat. That's because you guys are all the tops. Okay, so let's take a look at the trends today, shall we, this morning. Now, I swear this trend has been at the top of my page for days now. Ukrainian and Russian officials meet for a third round of talks, and that there was a third ceasefire. The crazy story was the guy that was working, he was on the Ukrainian side for the debates. Did you hear about that guy? Or the negotiations, and he turned out to be working for the Russians, and they friggin' shot him. Thank you, Rabbit. Did you guys see that? Let me find that. Let's see, Ukraine. Let's see, where would it be? Ukrainian negotiator. Yeah, there it is. This is crazy. Ukrainian peace negotiator is shot dead in attempted arrest by Ukrainian security service amid claims he was a Russian spy. Denis Kariv, 45, was killed during the defense operation. The government called him a hero, but MPs claim he was suspected of treason. Said he was shot and killed by Ukraine security service as he resisted arrest. Kariv was pictured on Ukraine's side during the negotiation with Russia. He was not on the official list for the February 28th summit, and his role is unclear. So they were already moving him away from that stuff. Yeah, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense said Denis Kariv, 45, was a spy and former banker who was killed during an operation to defend the nation. After his death, the government hailed him as a hero, but MPs claimed he was shot and killed by Ukraine's security service. So they just basically, right when he was shot, they were like, "Oh, he was been murdered," and then the news didn't get back to why. And it turned out he was working for the Russians, or that's the belief on their end. That's him at the meeting. Just crazy. So. Next round, try not to kill your own people. Like, they're... Thanks. Hilarious. Benny Loco, thank you. Hal, please watch my shorts. They'll make you laugh. Indeed. They do. Rabbit Socks, Devin UK, thanks for the super chat. Again, Sherry Stone, thanks for being a member. I'm so glad to be here. It's really nice. It's great to be back. Although I do like being on the road and seeing everybody in person. So I have decided I need I was trying to bare bones it while I was on the road and not bring as much gear and try to, get it down so it has as few moving parts as possible and as few fail points as possible, but that's not going to work. So I'm just going to have to bring a giant rig. Yeah, that guy was killed by the Ukrainians. He's Ukrainian. He was killed by the Ukrainians. Crazy. Next is Yamava, although I don't think I'll have a show that day because I'm singing that night. But we'll have my agent's booking some new stand-up stuff for the rest of the year right now. So, Sam Moran, the Russian government has approved a list of countries who've been unfriendly to Russia, according to CNN reports following a statement from a Russia state-owned domestic news agency. The Kremlin has approved a list of countries who've been unfriendly to Russia. They include Australia, UK, EU countries, all of them, Iceland, Canada, Liechtenstein, Monaco, New Zealand, Norway, Korea, South, I'm assuming, San Marino, which is, county in California? Crazy. Singapore, the USA. Why are we so low on the list? I guess it's... They were trying to be in alphabetical order. That's hilarious. Ukraine, Montenegro, Switzerland, and Japan. Boo fuckity hoo. Unfriendly. Hey man, it's not we're not being unfriendly. It's tough love. Friends don't let friends invade countries. This isn't, we're not being mean to you, you prick. This is an intervention. You have a problem. I'm here. Liechtenstein is here. Japan is here. Japan wrote a poem. Like, we're all here to try and get you into Russia. We're trying to get you into rehab. Stop invading shit. I will say, nice to make the list, though. This is a good list to be on. We're keeping good company right now. So fucking what? Following the publication of an op-ed in the New York Times from a college senior about censorship, some are drawing comparison between the authors and the journalists. I don't care. Her name is Sarah Paulson. We're all pushing Sarah Paulson. That's great. That is a do. That was my kid's hairdo for a while. I'm glad she's keeping warm, though. She looks like a puff pastry in that thing. Anyways, she's great. That's cool. Rachel Weisz, actors Zuma is trending in political figures. Why is that? I don't care what it says. Best president. Okay, Jacob Zuma. Okay, it's just Jacob Zuma appreciation that throughout the communities in South Africa has garnered international attention. Here's some of the messages of support coming from different nationalities. Former South African President Jacob Zuma has backed Vladimir Putin in the ongoing conflict, calling him a man of peace. That's why. So that's why all the Jacob Zuma, like, he's great. All the basically Russian trolls are trying to punt this up to the top. That's what it is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so there's a bunch of the African sock puppet accounts that Russia and China both run are all coming to his rescue. Supreme Court has refused to reinstate Bill Cosby's conviction for sexually assaulting a Temple University. Okay, that's not surprising, because you would be denying someone their Fifth Amendment rights because the prosecutor said he wouldn't prosecute him for anything if he settled with the civil suit, and he admitted guilt in the civil suit. You can't trap somebody by saying admit it in the civil suit and you won't do time, and then you can't do it. Can't do it to anybody, so you, of course, can't do it to him. That's the prosecutor's fault. Don't make those kind of deals. You don't want a legal system where the DA or the prosecutor can trick people into incriminating themselves. And he's totally guilty, admitted it. But he only admitted it so that the victims could get civil awards without having to be dragged through an entire court proceeding. It's not technically double jeopardy. You can reinstate. You can, and they did that. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's death penalty, for example, got reinstated. I don't appreciate the AMA using children to make money by disfiguring and destroying their natural childhood. Right. Yeah, this has nothing to do with Bill Cosby. This is about how you have a functioning legal system. And you don't throw your entire legal system in the fucking garbage because a local DA in Philly made a deal that he shouldn't have made and fucked the prosecution of a sex offender. You don't. The Taz service, they in there. Anti-war protesters took the streets across Russia. Today, law enforcement thousands. Russia should break up with Taz. Yeah. Why exactly should we trust Reuters? You are partners with Russian Taz. Correction. Ukraine says Russian forces are preparing an assault on Kyiv as they advance toward the capital. We will delete tweets containing a video from Russia's defense issue without additional context. Yeah, look, okay. I get it that there's Reuters is linked up with news services all over the world. It's just like the AP. It sort of acts as a generalized wire, not a source, unvetted or uncompared. Most of the time, it's just this information is coming in, and they get it from a lot of different places. And normally, even though you would take Russia's assertions with a huge grain of salt. Previous to this fucking next level invasion of Ukraine, Reuters could expect at least some level of reasonable story on a lot of different issues from Taz about stuff internally or, and how Russia's dealing with things, or their border disputes or shit that's going on in Kazakhstan, and their own, their own personal take on stuff. You could get their opinion pieces and yada yada. So it's not weird that Reuters would be partnered with Taz. Like, they're partnered with everything. The problem is now Taz has shifted, like all other Russian media, to being a German circa 1935 propaganda ministry. So like Reuters. This is the slow backing out of the door by Reuters. They're not to be, they're not to be faulted for being partnered with them up to a certain point. But once this whole, like, we got to go in because of neo-Nazis. So yes, it is time for Reuters to drop Taz and distance themselves from it. Because they just, they gave Taz basically a rubber stamp to put stuff up on the wire. IFX cites Russian Foreign Ministry. Sending foreign weapons to Ukraine will lead to a global collapse, Interfax news agency cited the Russian Foreign Ministry as saying on Monday. What the fuck do you think they're going to say? Of course they're going to say that. That's their job. Of course the foreign ministries. What's the Russian foreign ministry going to say? Another Russian agency, TASS, quoted foreign ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, as saying the West sending mercenaries and military equipment to Ukraine would cause a catastrophic development of the situation there. That's our job. We're the ones supposed to be sending mercenaries and military equipment. That's why we're hiring people from Syria and sending in Chechen warlords to clear people out, because our Russian soldiers have a real problem killing Ukrainians because they might be blood relatives. But the Chechens and the Syrians don't give a rat fuck. So we thought we'd just airlift those assholes in, drop them, and then when they're done killing Ukrainians, we kill them. Samey same. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Why the fuck do you think they're sending in Chechens and Syrians? You think the Russians have a problem killing Chechens and Syrians? You kidding me? What a great excuse. What do you think you're doing? I'm building a camp. This is my land now. No, it isn't. We just sent you to as cannon fodder, dum-dum. Will you still be able to buy Russian brides on eBay? No, but you will be able to have a lease with an option to buy. They're shifting the whole thing. We have Taz Far West, aka Fox News and Business, so there's that. Well, yeah, we do have a major news organization in the United States that is beholden, because of News Corp, to a foreign national with alliances all over the place. And God knows what that dude's investments are like as far as Rupert Murdoch goes and his entire friggin' family. So, you'd think the kind of people that watch Fox News would take that kind of shit with a grain of salt, America Firsting, as they like to say they are doing, right? If you guys beat us up, we're going to beat you up so bad. Dude, sending weapons to Ukraine will lead to a global collapse. Sending Russian weapons to Ukraine is leading to, free farm equipment. So weird. The partnership with Reuters Connect brings media customers access to breaking news and exclusive videos on the Kremlin and Russian President Vladimir Putin, as well as featured videos in general news. You think? There's no snow near Kyiv. Is Reuters just laundering Taz propaganda videos? Oh yeah, they're talking about the dude who the Chechen guy who was like, I'm in Kiev and no one is fighting back. And they're like, dude, his geolocation's still turned on. He's miles away. Donbass photo from the Taz. Okay, that's the... We are saving cats while bombing Ukrainians. Here, oh shit. I mean, basically, is there a better analogy, I think, for Putin deciding to fuck with Ukraine than this picture? Putin being the cat. Was Poroshenko bad, corrupt? He's on CNN. No, he just did not broom out the other people. He was slow rolling. He was a transition person. Poroshenko was a transition person from Yanukovych to Zelensky. Zelensky's what you want. Yanukovych is what you don't want. Poroshenko is, you can't always get what you want, right? And he was one of the guys who was like easing them towards the EU, and they thought, well, if we broom him out, we'll get our guy running in there. They didn't think Zelensky had a shot because he was this TV guy. It was the exact opposite of the ploy they pulled in the United States, bumping Trump up. Russia may allow outside firms to maintain airliners and sanctions tacit. Oh, that's sweet. Maintain airliners oh, you mean because their planes suck and they need it? Russia's state media claims that Ukraine will blow up an experimental nuclear reactor in Kharkiv. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Why wouldn't you do that? Because, I mean, you got, shit, where's, let's see if I can scroll this down here. You got Chernobyl down here. Why the fuck, when you blow one up here? Here's a good idea, Ukraine. Why don't you just blow up one in each corner? Ruin your entire country so Russia doesn't have to bother with invading you anymore. You know, the nuclear fallout will be the barrier that Russia needs. And by the way, that's actually a functional possible plan for Vladimir Putin, which is make Ukraine relatively useless and dangerous to be around by blowing up a bunch of reactors so that it is just too toxic to cross or take. Number of people arrested during Sunday's anti-war protests in Russia rises to 3,500, more 12,000 since the war began. Fuck. Good for you, Russian people. And again, this is Putin's war. There's a bunch of Russians who are for it, you know. We got a bunch of people here who think I mean, friggin' Boebert just suggested we invade Canada to fight tyranny. You know, like, nobody's free of idiots. Yeah, so that's that's a current one. Zoe Kravitz was rejected from the Dark Knight Rises audition because she was too urban. What? Huh? Rejected from the Dark Knight Rises audition because she was too urban? What do you mean? This guy tells you she was turned away from auditioning for the 2012. Huh? Told that I wasn't being able to read because of the color of my skin and the word urban being thrown around like that. That was really hard. What? For the Dark Knight Rises? All right. Latina's got like, and by the way, if you want a better reason why Marvel films kick DC's ass, I can't think of one. And the only DC ones that seem to make any ground are the ones that celebrate villains. Maybe that might be your problem. All right. Let's see, how do I... Mark Levin. Oh, God. Kristen Biden handling the Russia game. Oh. Mr. Producer. Oh, my God. How many times? Like, we've covered this dude. Like, everybody's so late to the game on this shit. He's a disgrace and disaster. Mr. Play it, Mr. Producer. Go. Cut. Go. Go. Mr. Producer. Fucking stupid. Continue modern American history against true vile genocide. Oh, good Lord. Try harder. That's the weird thing. Mark Levin saying that, like, where in the fuck? How is that? How is this playing out? We are literally pushing back. The United States is not rolling over and letting this happen. Trump was. This whole narrative is just collapsing. It was dumb to start with. Mark Levin calls him a damn fool, says he just disgrace and disaster on handling the Russian-Ukraine war. Well, that's because he was supposed to hand it to him. That was the whole purpose. That's it. Mark Levin had smoke coming out of his ears. That's, by the way, she means that as a compliment. This Bridget Gabriel woman is super Trumpy. Goes off on epic rant in response to Biden's state. Oh, that's the State of the Union, right? That's earlier. Jesus Christ. He's just mad because he doesn't actually matter anymore. I'm loading. My rotating. What's happening? Can't tell you a great time we had at the show. Oh, thanks, Lulu girl. You're very personable, my friend, and I loved it. Yay. I'm very glad. Thank you so much. Did I miss Voldemort's letter to Lester Holt? No, we can look at that too. That happened over the weekend. Oh boy. What happened when we tried to confront London's Russian oligarchs about Ukraine? Let's see. London is home to Russia's wealthiest oligarchs, but when London came knocking, none of them were keen to talk about Ukraine. Yeah, same thing in New York. Bye. You don't get to play in the free world sandbox and then create a basic gulag the rest of the fucking time. That's the thing I think that pisses me off the most about like the Chinese millionaires and the Russian millionaires and billionaires that are buying property in the United States and the EU and UK. They do that so they can live and enjoy all the benefits of a free and open society, and yet they make their money specifically on tamping this down. We don't like it when corporations in our own country do that. Why are we cool with these folks, especially when they drive the price of real estate everywhere through the fucking roof? And at some point, when the next time I'm in England, I would love to have dessert, and I'm worried that they'll all be gone because these assholes never seem to skip any. Alisher Uzmanov, this former mining executive, has been described by the EU as a pro-Kremlin oligarch with particularly close ties to Putin. He's already had his $600 million super yacht seized and his assets frozen by the EU and UK authorities. Can we just enjoy that for a minute? Can we do that on a Monday? Can we do that together? Is that okay? Can we just go, just Yahtzees? Right. Beechwood House is a vast Victorian estate in Highgate. We were met with signs warning us of guard dogs on patrol. Well, sure. I mean, the dude, beyond just other people wanting to take his shit, I'm sure he's got fellow oligarchs meaning to, take his stuff and do him in. It's not a good crowd to run in. I'm just saying. Ask Scarface. This is the kind of friends you'd develop. Perhaps, unsurprisingly, the security team appeared and told us he was unable to comment. Certainly. Oh, Bloomberg estimated Guriev lost $1.1 billion in one day as a result of recent sanctions. By the way, still a multi-billionaire. And again, until these guys are wiped out to below zero, I'm not going to celebrate if they've lost $2 billion. The fact that they can even lose $2 billion is sign that they, is a sign. Oh, Trudeau, national disgrace. Is this the whole, truckers again and shit? Didn't arrive through the management Canadian. He's taxed or whatever. This is why Trudeau didn't arrive through main entrance as Impress did. Okay. Lock him up. Box arrivals and money loans. So proud and do better. Okay. U.S. works with Poland to provide Ukraine with fighter jets. Canada doesn't have all that much stuff. I love you guys, but you do realize that. Justin Trudeau arrives at 10 Downing from an alternate entrance due to protest. Duh. They're protesting everything. Hold on. What is this? Trudeau says Canada and NATO will steamroll Russia with sanctions and limited nuclear strikes. What? I'm going to go with BS. His government predicts a rapid escalation in the rescue of direct nuclear conflict with Russia and Eastern. Speaking to reporters, a transit announcement, Trudeau said Canada and its allies are focused on delivering an aggressive rebuke of unlimited sanctions and limited nuclear strikes to key Russian supply lines to fortify. What? That's fake. Fuck off. Yeah, does anybody citation needed? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, is Canada nuclear power? Why the fuck would they? I don't think so. And there's this big like right-wing anti-Trudeau thing. It's just silly. Yeah. Guys, I love you, Canada, but the power and control that the prime minister has over your government is relatively minimal compared to what an executive like the president can do. And so getting all sphincterized about one dude is just not going to happen. Sorry. Plus, resource wise, you guys are great allies, lovely people, cool that we're trade partners and all that kind of stuff. But nobody's expecting you guys to pick up the slack in a war. Yeah. How please wear your 5 eggs t-shirt? Okay. This afternoon will do. I had to wash it first because I always wash clothes before I wear them when they're new. So I'm doing laundry today, as I had to because I got in late last night. Let's see. I mean, there's so much. Yes, welcome to Hal Sparks Mornings, Megaworldwide. It's somewhere between checking the Twitter trends and an AMA. And are we going to recolonize? Colonize? Yes. That sounds rough. Yeah. I was going to wash new clothes. Has to wash new clothes, not me. All right. Well, that's cool. Yes. Yes. Say hi to Tony and everybody. Thank you guys so much. quite busy, Denise. Yes, I am. Let's see. The anti-Putin TikTok video that's going viral. Great. That's awesome. Any comment, Ari, the bar book? Well, there's a reason why I have a scribed subscription, so you can read some books for free, and his would be one of them. Like, while I'm interested in his information because it seems to be right from the horse's mouth and right there. But no, great. Just what I need. Wait, hold on. Check this out. Putin's World War Z has created a new swastika. The Xeon stuff. It started as curious markings, now become a symbol of Vladimir Putin's own version of World War Z. Z has become akin to a new swastika, or a symbol of hatred, is showing up everywhere. Supporters of Russia's uninvited invasion of Ukraine can be found. Zabobedi for victory. Or Zabad. or west. Anyway, the symbol invented just a few days ago became a symbol of new Russian ideology, with these people wearing these Z's. Launched a propaganda campaign to gain support for their invasion of Ukraine, and they're getting lots of it. You can see Z on these guys' clothes. What does it mean? All right. Indeed, the symbol is not directly tied to Mussolini's fascist symbol that all supported Z anywhere. It was referenced to the any more than it's a reference to World War Z, which is premiered at the Moscow Film Festival that year. Though it could be argued that Russian troops are not so different from the zombie invasion film it's based on. Right. Yeah. Business owners put Z showing support of the invasion on their trucks. Here you see a funeral service fully endorsing it. Well, at least because they enjoy the business, I would guess. Russian military makes Z letters out of bandages of killed Ukrainian soldiers. Fucking hell. Here you see terminally ill children from hospice and their parents making a Z formation. Yes, Russians are forcing terminally ill children dying from cancer and their families to declare their support for Russian invasion of Ukraine. Good Lord. Oh yeah, Maria Butina drew a Z on her on the lapel of her jacket, and then she also was showing off like who needs no one needs iPhone. All you need here is use Russian Ataphone, and the best thing about it is it's always on. Bettina 33 years. Yeah, okay, blah blah blah. I mean, it has never been, dude. I find it hard to grasp how the NRA folks are like bought into this Russian bullshit that she was selling and they were pushing. I mean, it became a funnel for money out of Russia into the Republican Party through the NRA. But the NRA was like making, playing footsie with Russia when the gun rights in Russia are draconian, ridiculous. If Putin took over the United States tomorrow, all these guys would have their guns round up in a day. Period. He'd never let anybody have, and by the way, the Russian Z will never, ever be able to dominate the true powerful Z in the universe that represents good. Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a bunch of that. And then trending, the Don't Say Gay bill. Disney CEO Bob Chapek addressed the company's response to Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. Because that's where Disney World is. Disney, which has funded every single sponsor of Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, has no plans to stop funding them. Instead, they say they continue to support LGBTQ community with inspiring content. Whatever. Fuck that means. This lady looks sane. Where the fuck is she? Is she is she doing this from a train station, or does DeSantis keep her in a safety deposit box? Live from Mailboxes Are Us. We must stop the gay agenda before they mail homosexuality to everywhere. Good times. Okay. That's a big hashtag, kids. We got to tighten those up. Republicans warned Justice Department probe of Trump would turn into a political battle. Duh. What else did they have to politically battle about? Policy? Yeah, this dickhead, Marco Rubio. Yeah. Good Lord. The Kremlin is oh, that's the list of people. Let's see some Monday motivation. Maybe we need a break for a moment. The ruble is down 83% since its peak. Yeah, that would be it. Oh, there. Yeah, this is it. That's the Monday motivation. They do work, right? Productive is better than busy. Tag a coworker. Make today magical. Sit on someone else's head like a marshmallow rabbit. Fabulous. Boycott Bollywood. Movies encourage the usage of drugs and alcohol. I see. These are the Indian Twitter often takes over Monday motivation in a big way. It's pretty hilarious. They just own it. It's just hashtag it to anything. And it's really just like, it's almost like their phone tree. Look at this. There's so much of it. Just on and on and on. Yeah, not guys, not technically the definition of Monday motivation. Perhaps someone could explain it to you. Oh, it's National Cereal Day. So here we go. We can choices of cereals. I remember cereal memories. I remember when Cookie Crisp came out. That's the only cereal that I can remember when it launched. I was like, I'm sorry, what now? That sounds fucking fantastic, right? Remember that? Now I don't like pre-sugared cereals. It's a thing. I like Weetabix and that kind of stuff. I like fiber, and I loved Boo Berry and Frankenberry. Those were before my time, though. They had been around before I knew they existed. Lucky Charms was fine until they kept adding shit. Crazy cow. That was regional. Yeah. Puffed wheat, sure. In a bag. Yeah, Cookie Crisp was the shit. Magic Spoon is great. I got some of the Magic Spoon stuff from the Midas Touch guys' ads. I was like, all right, I'll support them, and I bought some of it, and it came with a spoon. They send you this funky spoon to go with, like oddly shaped, like, and it's like multicolored, so very odd. Captain Crunch would just like is a great cereal if you need to exfoliate the roof of your mouth. No amount of milk will soften it enough to not scrape all the flesh from the inside of your mouth. And every time I have Captain Crunch, I can't help but think of Clark Griswold from the Vacation movies, the Chevy Chase character, because that's what he did for a living. He was in food additives. That was his job, which is one of the reasons why his whole family is stupid, by the way. This is the backstory of the Griswolds, is that they have mental damage from all the food processing stuff that he works on. But he created, if you'll remember, in Christmas Vacation, he was working on a non-nutritive food varnish, which I fucking like that phrase. I've always just like that stuck with me so much. Non-nutritive food varnish that keeps it crispy in milk. That's how they stay crispy in milk, is a non-nutritive food varnish. Cereal varnish. And he'd been working crunch enhancer, right? And that was why he was hoping for his big bonus. All these cereals all make me think of that non-nutritive food varnish. Because I can picture it. Yeah. Now, of these, Like Lucky Charms, like Frosted Flakes, like Life. On the fence about the rest of them. I feel like I'm supposed to like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Honey Nut Cheerios because they're supposed to be family, like relatively healthy, a good source of fiber, that kind of BS. I like Fruit Loops not because I will eat them, but because they are part of the whole Mandela effect conspiracy theory. If you're not familiar with that, apparently when they turned on the particle accelerator at CERN, it reset time and created a bunch of branches. Cheerios, that's funny. Ugh, that's brutal. Did you know graham crackers and Kellogg cornflakes were invented so they could stop so you would stop masturbating? Their inventors both believed that eating bland foods would suppress sexual desires and unhealthy urges. Wait a minute. That's what the problem is. Booberry did it to me. No. Why does that make me oddly crave? That's a weird picture to use if that's the case. It was, while the food may stop you from masturbating, the ad campaign may lure you right back to it. I remember when these ads first came out and they're like, it's not, the cereal's real, but the milk is, and it's glue. I believe it's true. I am a serial killer. Oh, here we go. There's a bunch of them in here. Oatmeal Crisp, okay. Mini wheats and frosted mini wheats. I dig some frosted mini wheats on occasion. I'll kick the shit out of some frosted mini wheats on occasion. Yeah. Total never did it for me. It was just kind of like it was just like cornflakes. I always felt like it was a lie. Just like, I'm just gonna have cornflakes. Don't tell me it's Total. Raisin Bran was my cereal growing up, for the record. Kicks are gross. I like Kicks. They're just flavorless. They're like all the Fruit Loop what you call it? Like the Crunch Berries, but without any flavoring. That's what Kicks are. They just don't add the stuff on top. That's what it is. Kicks are that before they color them and add all the sugar and stuff. It's like for people who like the shape of Crunch Berries and not the flavor. Right. Apple Jacks are fucking gross. Sorry. I'm very happy for you if you like them, but it's gross. They're gross. Every time I have them, like, this is terrible. Eggo cereal, get out of here. Reese's Puffs. And by the way, Incredible Berry Crunch, how did you make the list twice? What's this bullshit? This is a bunch of... There's Cookie Crisp. That's the chocolate version. There's the regular plain cookie, chocolate chip cookie version. Super Sugar Crisp with Honey Bear. Come on now, and you could cut up, get some Super Sugar Crisp. That's right. I remember Chris Bono used to do the Honey Bear from Sugar Bear from Super Sugar Crisp. Well, that's wonderful. It was like a radio DJ from the 70s. Sugar Bear. Lucky Charms Frosted Oats here. Oh, this is like a little character for that. For post-natural bran flakes, Rue McClanahan on getting the best out of life. Stay regular. Yummy, yummy. My grandparents put banana slices in cereal, and I could never do it. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that perfectly good piece of fruit? Why are you putting it in milk with something for whatever reason? Just eat the banana. Eat the banana and eat your cereal. What the fuck is that? Why is it supposed to be good? Colon blow? Remember colon blow? Yeah. Fruity Pebbles. Blech. Toucan Sam, right? Poppin' Pebbles. Get out of here. Doug Flutie with Flutie Flakes. The cereal bracket. Okay, we move Life down here. Life moves to here. And Frosted Mini Wheats. And... oh, that's tough. Frosted Flakes versus Honey Bunches of Oats. I'm going with Honey Bunches of Oats. And Lucky Charms. And then Rice Krispies. And then Trix, since we already have a Honey Nut something. You're late in the game. Sorry, you're behind. There's no way to keep up. Apple Jacks versus... I'm going to go with Apple Jacks. Ugh, no. Fruity Pebble. That's just... and both of them got disqualified for one of them had a... their quarterback got busted for dogfighting, and then they get removed. So Special K moves immediately to the next level. And then we get out here. I mean, I'm going to be so boring for you guys. That's what's going to happen. Like, it's going to be Life, Lucky Charms. These are my rotations. Life, Lucky Charms. What did we have here? Rice Krispies and Special K. And then ultimately we're going to be stuck with Life, I think, at this point. Wheaties. Didn't even make that list. The hell. Raisin Bran every time. Even though the flakes in Raisin Bran do have a bit like the texture of like crumpled paper. I have been known to enjoy grape nuts in my life. I thought that was like an adult moment for myself. This is filth. Yeah, same rotating picture. This guy and this guy. No. Ugh. Fruit de Loopholes, Simply Spiders. CRISPR Crunch, that's funny. CRISPR Crunch, is CRISPR Cas9 reference, as genetically modified cereal. That's funny. No donuts. Man, I remember this ad. Gives me the energy I need for the rest of the day. Super Sugar Crisp, which became Super Crisp and Super Honey Crisp. And the sugar gives me the muscles I need to beat up a bunch of animals in the woods. All right, you guys. Golden Rats. Oh, good Lord. Fruit Brute. Flunkos. Lion-O, Skeletor, Dwight, Cage. They're all like like knockoff cereals. Kaboom. Also, something kind of toenail-esque about Golden Grams. Yeah. What? What is this? Crunchy Stars. Unky Dunky. Where was this? Only in Sweden? New Kid cereal. Quisp. Buckwheats. Oh, hell no. Right, then, Carlton? They look like, these fucking look like this look like a bowl. You know those ads when you're scrolling through and an ad for like toenail fungus comes up and you're like, hey, I didn't even talk about that. Why am I seeing an ad for this? That's what it looks like, a bowl of toenails to me. Roasted toenails. No. What is that, a cereal money shot? What's happening here? New glory holes. Sorry. Crunchberry. Jesus. I enjoy hot cereal, and the hot cereal that I do oatmeal and that kind of stuff. There's a multi-grain cereal that they used to sell at Whole Foods that I just can't find anymore. They must have just run out of 2 of the grains or something, or discovered it was toxic. But it was just organic grains, hot cereal. The Lucky Clover. Pink Panther Flakes? What is that? A penis stretcher? What is this? Oh, it's a spy kit. What is that? Oh, Spider-Man sweetened rice cereal. Yeah, I remember that. We got a box of that when I was a kid. Because you had to. Jeepers pieces. Yeah, that looks like scabs. Oh, Jedi spoons. I remember those. We never got those. Those came after. That was during the prequels. They tried to kind of jumpstart the kids. Here's Johnny. That's just wrong. Honeycomb. I was into honeycomb for a while, I have to admit. And I do not like Rice Krispie treats. I have tried and tried over the years to find a way to enjoy them. I do not. Every time I try to jump back on that horse, I'm like, nope, this was a mistake. No interest. Yeah, I like grape nuts. This is good stuff. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find that. Let's see. 7-grain hot cereal. Yeah, they don't make the one I have anymore, or I used to get anymore. But this is the closest one to it that I like to make. This is the 7-grain hot cereal. That's occasionally that's my gruel. And because they don't have the kind I like anymore, and this stuff is so finely cut when you cook it, it's like mush unless you add less water. So I add steel cut oats to it, even though it's got oatmeal in it. I add steel cut oats into it to add some like thickness to it to make it, palatable. Because otherwise it's like dust. It's that kind of gruel. That said, I love me some oatmeal. Just straight up oatmeal, man. A little bit of honey on it, that's enough. Cream of wheat. My mom used to make me cream of wheat when I was a kid. That was, good Lord, that was if I have a singular food memory of my childhood that has to do with my mom's cooking, cream of wheat. That was it. That's true. That sells in Canada. It must be a Canadian product. Yeah, that's probably where I picked it up, I will admit. There she is. Hold on. Look at this. This is the like quick cream of wheat. You can make it in 2 minutes. When I was a kid, it took you 6 years, and you had no choices. There was no instant cream of wheat. Look, creamofwheat.com. Look at that. Mornings will never be the same. Well, if you die or something, I suppose. Cocoa nut with real almonds. Banana walnut. Okay, you guys need to simmer. Stop dropping stuff all. You're spilling on the table. My girlfriend is going to kill me. Look at the mess. There's blueberries on the floor. That'll stain. That's going to stain the tile. What are you doing to me? But look, it's a picture of me as a boy eating cream of wheat in our house in Kentucky with my catcher's mask hanging on the chair that was carved out of my great-great-grandfather's coffin. Where's I don't want the original 1 minute. I don't care. Why is there's like, I love how there's 1 minute cream of wheat and 2.5 minute if you're feeling kind of laid back. If you just, I got some time to kill. What the fuck? Live a little. I don't want, and look, to-go cups. What will be, here we go. Stovetop, oh, that's cream of rice. Gluten-free for the folks. Stovetop. There we go. Let's go here. The original, okay, original 2.5 minute, whole grain 2.5 minute. I don't remember it taking 2.5 minutes. I remember it taking a lot longer. Since 1893, kids. And one of the big, this is one of those things where, in an attempt to kind of like, concern ourselves with the previous thought of racism, that black characters have been removed from foodstuffs, when in reality they served a generation of people acclimating to the idea of black people being around them and being trustworthy and lovely. You have to understand who the messaging was for. It's not for you now, because in theory, and by the way, as soon as we started doing that, you got a whole generation of kids growing up going, I don't know, they're different. So maybe there was something to it. You know what I mean? More ways to it. This looks very complicated. I don't need, I just think you're gacking the whole thing up. It's about, I want food that is as close to living in a British orphanage as possible. Mango and coconut cream of rice. Summer would love that. She loves mango and sweet rice from this Thai restaurant we go to. It's lovely. Ham and egg cream of wheat. That was the other thing about cream of wheat, is because it was like cheap grits. It was like quick grits. And it could be savory or sweet. Eggnog milkshake. Get out of here. Stop it. Cream of wheat pancakes. What the hell is the world coming to? How does that work? 10 minutes. Hot cakes. 1 egg. 2/3 cup fat-free milk. What? Fat-free milk. Okay, because they want to keep their 2 spoons. Oh, half cup pancake and waffle mix and a half. Oh, well, if I've got pancake and waffle mix, why the fuck do I need? What makes this better? I guess to add iron and calcium to your pancakes, I'll just how about I just take protein mix, which is what I do, and add that to my batter and make them out. All right. Look, you're going to make me hate National Cereal Day at this point. Gluten-Free Parfait. How does this involve 1 packet of instant cream of rice, half a sliced strawberries, okay, place strawberries on, thanks, slowly pour in your cooked cereal, cooked with half cup of water, gently add jam, finish by adding everything, put it in the fridge, or it'll be a hot parfait. Hot parfait sounds gross. You gonna come to the party? We're gonna have hot fruit. Gluten-free parfait. I mean, it's nice that it's available. I'm glad they're responsive. But pomegranate, white chocolate, orange cream of wheat bowl. Basically, take cream of wheat, add whatever you have. Whatever you add to it is wonderful. That's the message we're trying to send. We at Cream of Wheat want you to understand, friends, that the most important thing is that cream of wheat, so bland, so flavorless, that you can add any flavor to it and it will automatically make it a much tastier treat. Take your favorite tastes and add it to something that has, in and of itself, no taste. Don't be afraid to add hot banana. Stir in something with any kind of flavor, and it will make it a taste treat. Dear God, what a flavorless, unpalatable mush. Sorry. By the way, I can testify that bland foods do apparently do the do the job. These to-go cups are very interesting to me. That they don't have a to-go cup without a bunch of shit in it is weird. Can I have a to-go cup of the plain? So can I add my own shit? Thank you very much. I think America went to shit the minute we've started putting chip dip on the chips itself. Talk about lazy. I swear to God, as soon as this show is over this morning, I'm going upstairs to make myself some oatmeal. Right? I'm literally walking straight from this stool upstairs. And I had eggs this morning because I'm on a protein jack right now. So I'm trying to get more protein in my system. So I got like liquid egg whites and liquid eggs, cartoned that I pour in and make like a ridiculously oversized serving of eggs in the morning for myself. And I did that before I came down here. And now I'm still like, I'm watching all this stuff. I'm like, how can I get some good carbohydrates into my system? And yes, steel cut oats would be the way to go. I think. I know we're all now like, today's episode is accidentally brought to you by the bland, flavorless mush that is cream of wheat. That's right, friends. Don't be afraid to fix yourself a hot, steaming bowl of, am I eating something or am I tasting my own tongue? Yes, cream of wheat, friends. Get all your iron and your nutritional needs met without ever knowing you've eaten anything. It's like drinking something that has the texture of asphalt. That almost no... That's right, friends. Cream of wheat. Available at a store near you, or order it through the internet so you never have to let anyone know you are eating a bland, flavorless mush. That's right. Cream of wheat. For people that are that lack the adventurous spirit to try grits. Do I cook? Yeah. Damn right I cook. I cook for the family. I am the cook. Okay, so when I moved to live with my dad in Chicago, I was living with my mom and my sister in Kentucky, and I was getting in a lot of trouble. And so they thought it would be best if I moved to a big city where, where I could meet some people who would be a positive influence. And, and when I lived with my dad, it was just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. And my dad, worked all day. He worked at an architectural firm, and he did a lot of hand drafting and stuff. So he would, this was, pre-CAD, a lot of stuff. Spent a good deal of the day working on real projects. That's why I know Trump's full of shit, because I've lived with my dad while he was designing, and refurbishing buildings and doing it by hand. And doing the actual work. Anyways, so when I lived up there, I would get home from school about 3:30. My dad would get home about 5:30 or so. We'd have dinner at 6 o'clock, and I would cook it. I cook dinner. My dad knows how to cook like 5 things, and 3 of them well. He can do shrimp, steak, and a fairly reasonable omelet. And that was it. And so I started doing stir fry for both of us with like rice on the side. So I would, cut up bell peppers and like whatever, like tomatoes and some other stuff and onions, whatever we had available, whatever vegetables he would get, broccoli, that kind of stuff. And I would, dice it up and put it together and stir fry it with some chicken or some beef for us, add sauce to it, cook rice in an actual pot. We didn't have a rice cooker, cooking rice just on the stove is a pain in the ass. I still have like PTSD from it, and then I would just make us dinner. That was it. And then I learned to cook like salmon and steak and chicken and turkey, like turkey breasts and that kind of stuff. Any kind of like sliced stuff or cutlets that my dad would pick up, I would cook that. And then Summer doesn't cook at all, neither does Ethan. So I do all the cooking in the house. Camden's learning to cook. Camden's like he's got his own eggs that he makes, like his own. Yeah. Yes, computer-aided drawing. Thanks for pointing that out, Rick. Yeah, before CAD was, widely available, all blueprints and stuff had to be drafted by hand. And any changes usually were made because the computers weren't fast enough in terms of printing them out and reliable. So my son, he's just got a special kind of like egg dish that he likes to make. He likes to scramble his eggs his way, and he does great. How do I save money on food? By cooking. Honestly. 5 eggs all at once. Yep. It, very, very frequently, and even more frequently, because now I'm aware of it, I often will have like 5 eggs scrambled together or over medium for myself. And I can do them all at once. Yeah. I do need a rice cooker. I do not have one. And that's one of those things that's been on my list for a long time. But I have to be honest, like, if I get, probably what's kept me from getting one is that I want a nice one, because the ones that you can get that are fairly cheap just look like shit. They look like chintzy and crappy, like they're going to break down. They're plasticky and stuff like that. And so getting a really nice one, is something I'm like, and then I look at them and I'm like, that's expensive. And then I blow it off. How's Chip doing? He's great. He's getting very big. Summer keeps making fun of him because he's getting fat, she thinks. But it's because his butt's growing and his head's taking a little longer. But he's going to be a big cat. He's already a big cat, but he's going to be a big cat, a genuinely big cat. But yeah, he was. You guys want to? I got a couple minutes. You guys want me to go grab him real quick? You want to see him? I'll go get Chip real quick. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Chipple. There he is. There he is. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. He's been sleeping. He's a sleepy boy. He was sleeping. Hi, buddy. You okay? You having a nap? Are you sleepy? Did I wake you up? Everybody wanted to see you. Because you still got a little kitten head, but your body's all big. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. Oh, that's right. There you go. There you go. Brr. Yeah. Oh, thanks, buddy. Hi. Hello. Yeah. How are you? Oh, he's a sleepy boy. Well, he was napping in his little nest. The Chippinator. Oh, I'm tired. And he got a snack this morning. He was very excited. Oh, yeah. He knows that noise. See that? I have trained my cat to know when there's a snack coming. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yes, and he's smiling. He's got a smile on. Look at this smiley boy. He is a bit cross-eyed. No Barbra Streisand jokes, please. Please. He's very sensitive about the Barbra Streisand references. There he is. Hi, buddy. There he is. That's right. He just, yeah. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm glad you liked the show. It was super fun doing a show live. It's nice to be back out there again. More of that to come. Yeah. Look at this kid. Look at this little boy. Look at this Chipper. This is what happens is like I pick him up like this and he just starts to go to sleep. And then I lose all sensation in my arms. And if I stop talking, he's just gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hi, buddy. You okay, Jippo? Yeah. Jippo. Yeah, he's going to fall asleep again if I just sit there. Charlie Chiplin. That's his full name. Charlie Chiplin in Funny Kitty. Oh, he's trying to stretch out. Like, oh God. Yes, he has a soul patch. He looks like he's got markings like a 90s fish style grunge band member. Yeah. Chip was very glad I was home. He came over to the stairs and he was like, "Hey, there you are." And now he's trying to kill me going down the stairs, like, because he missed me. So he's doing this thing where he's running around in between my feet. Maurice says, "You're the father." Yes. King's X, maybe? Oh, you mean like Ty? Yes. I want a Maine Coon too. I just worry about Chip getting stuck in his throat. What's up for the PM show? There's so much stuff. There's the bar interview. Trump is calling in. There's MTG. There's, oh God. And I'm trying to like pace myself on the fucking Russell Brand and Jimmy Dore stuff because I got to just, every time I turn around, they are digging a deeper hole. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's officially ours. He's officially adopted after all this time, which is great. Yeah, Chip's a big boy now. Yeah, but he's lovely. Yeah, he's officially mine. Fully adopted. I'm good. It's hard to do a show because I think he's gonna fall asleep and I'm not gonna want to wake him up. And if I laugh, it shakes my belly and it wakes him up. Sorry, buddy. Hi. Yeah. Why promote him? I'm not promoting him. I'm calling him out. I got 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's got 900,000. Believe me. I'm not promoting him. I'm punching up. Believe me. What happened? Who's that? Is Murphy napping in my bathroom? If he is, leave him alone. No, no, no. You cannot go hunting Murphy. Hold on. I'm going to go put him. He's not in there, silly. He's not there. See? Nobody in there. Thank you. Here, I'll put you back in your nest. Yeah, sorry about that. He thought Murphy was in the bathroom because Murphy will sometimes, to avoid Chip, will come down and sleep in the downstairs bathroom on the mat because he's the same color because he sleeps anywhere the ground is gray so he can hide, and he'll lay down in there, and then Chip will discover that he's hiding and then attack him. Yes, but hunting Murphy is so fun. Yes, it is. So, well, that's National Cereal Day. There we go. That ended up being a whole thing. Yeah. I posted this because Jay Arnold posted this picture of his dog chewing on this thing, and I thought it was a hockey puck at first, and then it's like a little toy tire. His dog Zoe, when she was 10 weeks old, and so I wrote, "Ukrainian dogs are huge. Here's one tearing a tire off on a Russian MRAP. Terrifying." Because it looks exactly like the tires that are like the shit tires on these Russian trucks. Anyways, yeah. Russia or Belarus? Why is that a thing? Ukraine diplomacy go to create humanitarian corridors from several bombarded cities after it emerged that exit routes would lead refugees into Russia or Belarus. Yeah, they'll be totally great. Don't send them to NATO countries. Send them where we can kill them. You fucking stupid. I think they want a corridor so Russian soldiers can flee. Local media in Ukraine, the head of Hostomel was shot dead when distributing bread and medicine to residents. Deeply surprised me as heroism of local leaders. Many of them stay with their people. In Russia, Belarus loyalists are appointed by the leader. Yeah. Good Lord. Like how, I mean, that's just idiotic. Why in the world would you do that? Deputy Mayor of Mariupol, Sergei Orlov, says there's been no confirmation of a new ceasefire there. Russian Defense Ministry claims it will hold fire this morning to allow people to leave several cities across Ukraine. I mean, anymore, other than I think some Russian soldiers don't want to open fire, so they might create what is tantamount to an accidental ceasefire. I wouldn't trust that their orders are such that love Belarusian style. Like at this point, for a while, it seemed like Russia might have, like Putin might have thought he was going to get what he wanted. So his demands were ridiculous because he thought the threat was so strong that he could get what he wanted. But now this is just fucking dumb. At this point, it sounds like lunacy. It sounds like machismo and ignorance. Come closer so we don't have to bomb you from as far. Ukraine retakes town and airport in Signature City. What was this? That's on Sky News. Is that old or new? It's always hard to tell. Agree. I don't care. Oh, this is there. Ukraine runs the latest news. Mayor shot dead by Russians as Ukraine retakes town and airport in sign of difficulty for Putin. Huh. Ukraine's latest must go to Russia or Belarus, which is like again, that's just like lunacy. Like the demands just get like dumber and dumber all the time. U.S. begins collecting material for Russian war crimes inquiry. But my friends, we know that everyone is equally guilty, and if someone is currently murdering someone, let's not forget that we could stop that murder, but it's best to think that murders have happened before, and we must equivocate between murders that were addressed before in societies, and people who are trying not to murder anyone again must remind themselves that murders occurred before so that they don't stop the murders that are right in front of them. It's the Russell Brand response. 8 Ukrainian troops killed in Russian strike 28 minutes ago. 28 minutes ago, while we were talking about cereal. That's one of the other reminders of this, like the horror of this. Regional Governor Vitaly Kim said 8 troops were killed and 19 were wounded when Russian missiles struck their barracks as they slept. At least 9 killed and 16 attack on Ukraine healthcare, says WHO. As of 7th of March, WHO has verified 16 attacks on healthcare in Ukraine. These attacks took place between 24 February and 3 March. More reported incidents are currently in the process of being verified. These attacks have led to at least 9 deaths and 16 injuries. At least 7 of those injured are health workers. Third round of talks ends without significant progress. Gee, I wonder why. Okay, here's. I'll tell you what. Let's put our cards on the table. You put your cards on the table. Here's what we want to do, Ukraine. This is what we want you guys to do. Lay down all your guns, drop your pants, turn around, grab your ankles, write a check out to Vladimir Putin for whatever's in your account. Scream, screw Ukraine, and we'll take our time shooting you. And then, I'm sorry, what was your demand? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. My Russell Brand is getting good. Yeah, I've seen that ridiculousness so much now. Do you think Putin will use a nuke? No, I do not. Tactical, there's tactical possibility they would use a dirty bomb for that predicate that they're, that this story they're trying to tell. But if that news spreads, and as it should, if the news spreads that Russia's talking about this kind of provocative act of saying that Ukraine's going to set off a dirty bomb, that shit, if that news circulates enough, it takes their ability to hide behind it away. Yeah. Almost 100% of Russian troops amassed on the Ukrainian border deployed. So yeah, so there's not a whole bunch more they can do. Now, the number I heard, that to take Ukraine, they would need 500,000 troops. They had about 180,000, and not all of them are fighting troops. They'd need 500,000 fighting troops, plus logistics and all that shit. And they'd have to keep rearming and resupplying all these things and fighting a tactical, like a non-tactical street-to-street urban warfare campaign against people who do not want to be taken. And then mostly it's just like kids and wives. What's happened today so far is an hour ago. Russia claims it's holding a temporary ceasefire. Yeah, claims. But Russia has only offered civilians in certain parts of Ukraine the chance to flee to Belarus or Russia, something Ukraine described as immoral. Right. Meanwhile, Ukraine claims fighting has continued in Kyiv and Mariupol. Officials say 4,000 people still need to be evacuated from the outskirts of the capital, while 2,000 have fled to the northern town of Irpin. Third round of peace talks began in Belarus. Ukraine claims to have retaken control of Chuchiv, near Kharkiv, Kharkiv, and the regional airport in Mykolaiv. The mayor of Hostomel near Kyiv was shot and killed while distributing aid. We saw that one. UN says at least 1.7 million Ukrainian refugees have entered neighboring countries since the conflict began. I mean, if you got a country that's close to the demographics even anywhere near the United States, you got 51% female and children evenly mixed. So the fact that a country of 45 million people has less than 5 million refugees immediately is crazy. Buildings shelled in Kharkiv. Yeah, these look like military vehicles. Military sedans are the worst. We are just trying to escape war. Ukrainian refugee urges UK to do more. They're trying to get her. 4,000 people in the evacuation. We saw that. Ukraine suffers $10 billion worth of damage to infrastructure. UK ambassador leaves Ukraine due to security situation. You think? Resident shows Chernihiv bomb shelter where they're all staying. Russia is now the most sanctioned country in the world. But UK is doing far less than some others. Since the invasion of Ukraine, Russia has become the most sanctioned country in the world, according to new data from Castellum AI. It also has more things worth sanctioning. So it'll be ahead of Iran and Syria, North Korea and Venezuela, places like that, largely because they lack the capacity. They're not in the SWIFT system. They're not among the world banking system. A lot of their stuff has to happen under the table because they're not equal players. So this number is enormous, but it's also, this is basically all the Iranian sanctions plus all the shit Iran's not allowed to do already or can't do or isn't, big enough to do. Around 50 data for Ukrainian visas is absolutely inaccurate. Okay. Man, hard to say. Load more. At least 13 killed in an airstrike on a bread factory in Kyiv. 5 people were rescued, adding a total around 30 people were believed to have been in the factory before the attack. It comes after the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry claimed Russian troops have continued to fire missiles at some city, despite the promise of humanitarian corridors. As of this morning, 6 humanitarian corridors. I mean, it's hard to tell in these situations if they're using the bread factory to make, Molotovs and shit like that, and I wouldn't blame them if they were. So that part's are, and then they're going to get word back. That's not really a bread factory. And then they're going to blow it up and go, that was a bread factory. Like that kind of stuff happens all the time. That said, best not to fire on bread factories. I think Russia, if you're listening. Man arrested after lorry crashes into gates of the Russian embassy. So this dude was going to run out. Oh, did we ever find out about the not so active shooter at the Air Force base? Whoops, sorry, typed in the wrong thing. That's funny. That's usually what I was. That's like active shooter, Harris Air Base. Those words were in the thing. Yeah, but here we go. Yeah, Joint Base Andrews. These guys drove through a checkpoint. 17-year-old was arrested. Second intruder got away after they drove through a checkpoint. He was armed when he was apprehended. The base main gate. No shots were fired. I mean, it sounds like they zigged when they should have zagged, and they were actually running from another crime, perhaps, or something else was going on. But it was Joint Base Andrews. There shouldn't be a similar lockdown on the base happened in 2016 after the reports of an active gunman grounding then Vice President Joe Biden's flight to Ohio. Reports of a gunman turned out to be false. All right. Intruder boards a military plane at Joyce. When was this? What? 2018? An unarmed man gained access to Joint Base Andrews and boarded a plane typically used by senior government and military leaders, prompting the authorities to order a review of security. You think? Good Lord. Where was the story about this one where they're like, this totally proves that Trump does not have the faith of the American people, the kind of thing that could happen. This is because that's the story around Harris. Well, they're such draconian monsters that people are going, like, whatever. Meanwhile, this dude's like got in there going, come on, guys. It's all ball bearings nowadays. Woo! Hey! That's him, by the way. I'm kidding. Yep. So anyway, so this occurred this weekend. What do you think it's going to be? What, a friend or his dad? Is it a pair of wannabe freedom convoy people? How about Trump floating the idea of U.S. bombing Russia with a jet bearing Chinese flag? I know. Imagine, if you will, the blowback. I mean, we could do 100 million if Obama moments. But when it comes to Trump, one of the best parts about that story, besides the ridiculousness of it and the proof of like his ignorance about how the world works, one of the best things about it is the fact that nobody really gives a shit. Like there was a period, maybe even 10 months ago, where if he'd said something like that, people were like, oh my God. And now they're like, that asshole again. You know what I mean? And the ratcheting up of tensions with Russia about this stuff make his comments about Putin in particular, but Russia in general, are such a stark contrast with reality. And his attitude, just his laissez-faire attitude towards Putin, looks even more suspicious and grotesque now than it did before. And it was already creepy. Humanitarian corridors to Russia and Belarus. Reminds me of the abattoir sketch in Monty Python. So yeah, so you can go there. Al Franken? Don't leave your grandchildren and kids. Okay, yeah. Right. Everybody's kind of revisiting this. And by the way, the woman that Al Franken is alleged to have uh, shamed, essentially, like the beyond all the whole like you're taking pictures with. Oh, so many of you may have noticed that I had that Band-Aid on my hand when I was over the weekend because somebody's ring or bracelet or something cut me while I was taking pictures with people at the meet and greet. So I put my hands behind people. They all kind of move in. Somebody's taking the picture. You go like this, put your hands there, and God knows what's going on while you're doing this. And at one point, it got me right on the vein. You can see like right on the vein there, whatever. So it just started bleeding. It was just like drip blood, not just a little scratch or something like that. And it was very telling, or whatever. And that should give you some indication of what it's like to take pictures with groups of people one after the other. So the idea that somebody's like, he felt my side, he touched the side of my boob, you're like, you're not paying any attention. You're just like, hey, let's get a picture. You're scooting in, I'm just hugging. There is no, like, if the creep factor is there, don't take pictures with people who are going to put their arms around you and get in close for a picture because you wanted a picture. Like, it's so weird. So that was one of the like the post stories that kept coming out, and the one about him on the USO tour where he's like making the joke about grabbing what's her name and stuff, and then meanwhile you find out footage comes out later that she grabbed the ass of this country star that was performing as he came on stage, like big butt cup, just grabbed him, and she didn't know that dude. That's cool. And so the joke probably on the plane was, now's our chance to get revenge, and the picture gets out, yeah. Leanne Tweeden, right. And he's like, he's like 8 feet away from her. He didn't even touch her in the photo, right? That was the thing. He's making a joke. But, again, this is the sensitivity. This is when you allow your own empathy to get weaponized against you. You take something that requires care and conscious focus and thought, and you get slapdash with it, and then you lose the reins. Right, like the Tara Reid thing. I mean, it's like that got weird. Hashtag oil prices are up. Oh, Biden. The Indian rupee tumbled and record low along stocks and bonds. A spike in oil price spurred by war in Ukraine. Okay. The Germans are not laughing now. Trump was right. I think that they should not get Russian oil. Yeah. 80% of New Jersey electric. Yeah. Right. Control of petrol and diesel prices will be transferred to oil companies very soon. Prepare yourself. They already are. Photoshop much? And by the way, again, how many times do I have to show people that Biden has handed out more leases than Trump did already? It's just they're not drilling because they need the price to be up. Fake. Russia is the third largest producer of wheat. Wheat prices are wrong. No, they aren't, because they buy it. We don't buy it from them. And by the way, China's third largest producer of wheat. China's number is fake. Get out of here. U.S. crude spikes to a 13-year high of $130 overnight. 13 years ago, it was like, remember when we had near World War and following a pandemic 13 years ago? Me neither. And that's why, because the futures went up. Biden and his globalist goblins are crashing the economies of the world with the Great Reset. I see. That's what it is. It's the Great Reset. So we're going to have a good Glenn Beck video later today, no doubt then. I'm betting the event. This is Breitbart. White House rejects idea of boosting domestic oil production. White House on Sunday rejected the argument that increasing domestic oil production would help lower gas prices. The idea versus the argument that it would actually help, because there's a difference. Probably without a distinction in Breitbart's mind. We were energy independent. We are not. We are energy independent. Yep. What is this? Feeding fishes and bleeds. Feeding fishes and bleeds. Okay. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Crude could hit $200 in the case of Moscow energy embargo, U.S. shale boss. Global price for crude may surge to $200 a barrel if Russia oil and gas are banned. Warren Scott Sheffield did it. Yeah, more than likely. And 2 years ago, they were negative $36 a barrel. And so by comparison, it evens out to about whatever, 95, 94. They're trying to drive us back down. You guys run, blah, blah. Right. PSX drops 130. Okay. Oil price, gas price only just short of an all-time record. Just short of it. Only radical decoupling from fossil fuels will prevent global disaster. A radical decoupling? If you radically decoupled from fossil fuels today, 1 billion people would be dead in 8 months. They'd starve to death. How the fuck do you think we get food and supplies out into developing countries? Honestly. As U.S. signals, yeah, because this is it. Everybody's buying into this because they're like, oh man, we're going to make some money on this because they're going to ban Russian oil. It's going to drive the price up. So might as well buy into the futures now because if it goes to 200, this is all just day trading. Oil prices aren't rising. Oil futures are rising compared to it because they want it that way. Russia versus. And by the way, Keystone is Canadian tar sands oil, not ours. It would go out into the market. And this is what we import. This is not what it produces. So Russia's like 6.6 million barrels a day or something like that. This is just to the market and just for Canadian. It would make no difference. I love how they put these next to each other. And you go, imports would have provided, not to the United States. We don't get to keep this shit. What do you think? Because Canada's our neighbor, we get it for free? I mean, this is their new talking point for a time. But it's everywhere. That's the thing. U.S. crude oil briefly tops 130 a barrel, 13-year high on possible Western ban of Russian oil. Right. Briefly, because of a possible. after the U.S. said it was discussing a potential embargo on U.S. supplies, which, by the way, all Republicans supposedly are calling for right now. Right? Have we seen any of the main stars of the Republican Party not call for, like, why is Joe Biden buying all this oil, even though it's private companies? Right? Is there a single Republican that's against the embargo on Russian oil? Hey, Faye, how are you? Is there? Haven't we seen them talk shit about this for weeks, for a week now, at the very least? Why are we funding the Russian war machine? We should stop buying their oil, right? That's been the argument for a week. Are they going to change that now once we do? Are they going to blame him for doing what they've suggested? Yeah. Oil hit a record $145 a barrel in 2008, a marker very much in play now. It is also worth noting that oil prices traded just 5 months after that record was reached at $31. Mm-hmm. They don't stay that way for long. And as long as we continue to create demand destruction in the United States, it's going to increase. The price is going to decrease over time anyways. Yeah. That's what this, As oil blasts higher, it's worth remembering what happened the last time they reached a record. It wasn't even 2 years ago when oil prices were negative. That's something I keep bringing up and everybody keeps ignoring. Negative $36. One of the few buyers of oil then, legendary financier Carl Icahn, has completely sold out of his stake in oil and gas producer Occidental Petroleum now, which is one way of saying that not everyone is convinced that oil has just one direction to move. Pretty much everyone else is, though. Futures and global benchmark Brent rose to 130. On the U.S., the story about that, even before Blinken's comments, Russia-produced oil was trading at a steep discount as traders feared that sanctions on Russia that initially excluded the energy sector would inevitably extend there. So they're all buying up the stuff while it was cheap until the embargo starts. Again, these companies are buying as much of it as possible at a discount because Russia needs to sell it before the embargo starts. And so they were buying it up just to store it, to keep the price low. And then when the embargo happens, they won't have to raise the price as much, is the theory. Let's see. The natural country to turn to in terms of production distress, Saudi Arabia is in no mood to help now, not with the West in negotiating a nuclear deal with its rival Iran. That's another story too. Again, we've dealt with this before, but let's see. Iran, Saudi Arabia map. So, here you go. This will do. If I can grab this guy right here. Take that over here and open it up right now. Take a picture. Here we go. Do. Okay, so big Iranian oil fields right here. Big bada boom. This is where the Iranian oil fields are right here. This is where you want it. Yeah. That's why they're nervous about Iraq. Because Iraq, all they have to do is Crimea their way over here, and all of a sudden Iraq has all their oil. Okay, so Iran, big bunch of oil right here. And here there's about something in the order of like 3 million Saudi-aligned Arabs that live in this area. And so Saudi Arabia has been funneling money and support to them for a long time to try and create a breakaway region, ultimately top once the Iranian mullahs are toppled, so that they can claim that oil reserve. There you go. Oil and gas fields down here, Saudi Arabia, right around this area. See this little area right here? Okay. And down into here, I guess, is full of Sunni Arabs who are aligned with Iran, that Iran has been trying to foment a rebellion with for when the Saudi royal family falls, or to undermine it. So they've been fighting about this, and Iraq's been a proxy war, and Syria's been a proxy war, and how they handle Qatar, and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of the shit that happens in the water here is they get their oil to market, and they get their oil to market, and bump, bump, bump as they go through this area, because you got to kiss their ass because they're away from Saudi Arabia. They get over into Iranian territory. The U.S. has been protecting this flow for a long time. The reason Saudi Arabia is probably not wanting to produce more oil is because we are no longer protecting their ships. This is probably a move to get us back to protecting their ships as they go through here. Because we ain't doing that anymore. So this, this back and forth between these folks who like these folks and these folks who like these folks, and their fight over the biggest oil and gas fields that are the potentials anyways in both of these areas, because they do get a lot out of there, but they know that's where most of the stuff is coming from. And the rest of Saudi Arabia and a good portion of Iran, their oil fields are dry. That's exactly right. They've used it all up. So these are the final places. They're getting to the bottom of the milkshake, and it's starting to make that sucking sound. So this is what they got, this is what they got, and they're both fighting a proxy war across here because of it. Just so you know. Also, most of the Arabs in this area and down in here and like over here view the Saudi royal family as the Beverly Hillbillies. They think they're a bunch of rich rednecks who magically became in charge of an area that just happened to have oil in it, just kind of lucky accident of birth. And the same thing of, to some degree, Saddam Hussein, but and in Iran, there's, this idea that the sort of Muslim takeover of Persian Iran was a smart move for the Iranian oil over time. So as opposed to, the Persians were born on it, the Muslims took it from them in this area. The Arabs took it. So these Arabs that are they're friendly with these guys that are up here are like, we want all of it. So there's been this back and forth between these two areas for a while. More than likely, that has a lot to do with why they want us to come back in there and start policing the waters. And we're not going to. We're done. Nope. That was the modern world order for a long time. Us policing the oceans. We're not doing it anymore. Yeah. Nice, Darth. So, U.S. allies discussing banning Russian oil imports. Okay. Bed Bath & Beyond soars after GameStop chair takes... Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. So, Bed Bath & Beyond bought a bunch of... Their chairman... Yeah, Ryan Cohen bought a big stake in Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh, the GameStop chairman did that. Bought some bunch of Bed Bath & Beyond stock, so the meme stalkers jumped over there. That's hilarious. Okay, so... yeah, oil hit a record $145 a barrel in 2008, a marker which is very much a play now. It is also worth noting where oil prices traded just 5 minutes after the record was reached, $31. Just saying. And the more we get electric cars, things are changing, kids. For the times they are a-changing. I had my first electric rental car this time. It was a Kia, like a little micro SUV, and it was great. Oh my God, the pickup was fantastic. Smooth, quiet, modern, great. Yeah, it was super fun. Russians mobbed IKEA once the company announced it was cutting out. Yeah, they're gone. I mean, you can't. It's beyond even like some companies like are getting out because they're worried about brand damage and they don't want to be there because the money's worthless anyways. But Sweden's been actually threatened. Sweden and Finland have been threatened in the last week by Russia. If you ever think of joining NATO, we'll nuke the shit out of you, is kind of the tacit message. So, yeah, well, you don't get to have our easily assemblable furniture with our little wood pegs at all. Sorry, it's not going to work that way. Yeah, there's lots of Teslas out there, lots of electrics. And that's going to keep happening. You're going to see this less and less. Oh, and by the way, the charging stations in Grand Rapids that I went to were free. That's right, free. Did not cost anything. Just had to plug it in. Now, there weren't as many of them as I would have liked, but that's what the infrastructure bill is there to fix. And the price on like speed charging is kind of expensive because it's a different apparatus altogether, and there's a lot about it. So they got to take out a bunch of insurance case because it's a bunch of different cars. Some of them can handle it, some of them can't. Some idiot's going to roll up in a car that can't and blow out their battery system. And so there's insurance and all this other stuff. It's newer technology and it's imperfect, so they're working on it. But the regular chargers are everywhere, and it was free. It was really cool. So while I was doing my show, my car was charging nearby. The one I was driving charges overnight. Takes about 8 to 10 hours. So you get home from work, you plug it in, and in theory, as a commuter car, it's ready to go the next morning. For another 200 and some odd miles. You don't even have to do it every day. You just do it every couple weeks, or once a week, depending on what your commute is. So it was great. It was super easy. I mean, it was, I topped it off. I would not have had to charge it really using all of it. It was about it has a 265 mile range, and I got down to like 40 miles, even with driving back and forth to gigs, even driving out to Holland and Muskegon and back. And I, at that one show, I plugged it in for about 2 hours, and it gave me an extra 40 miles of range. But the charging was free. Yeah. So. Yeah, everybody's like, buy oil, get it in the oil, it's going to go to 200, it's going to be so great, the oil's going to come out of the mountain, and then it's going to collapse in a few months, and everybody's going to like, I lost my shirt, back to Bitcoin, quick. Yeah, there's a potential for a world war with one of the biggest oil producers on Earth. Yeah, it's going to go high. Is it going to stay there? No. We're talking about suspending the gas tax temporarily to lower the price for everybody. For the state gas tax, a lot of places are doing that. And by the way, here's where it was. Here's where it is. Here's where it dropped to in April of 2020. Below zero. Good Lord. Oh, I'm way over, by the way. I went an extra half hour almost. I'm late. So, or earlier, long, or whatever. Unbelievable destruction by Russia on Ukraine. Travel for business will get messy. As an opportunity, companies invest in mixed reality software platform. Augmented reality, telepresence. Yeah, that's one of the things. I can't wait for the first virtual freedom convoy in cyberspace to happen in Meta because of virtual mask mandates in furry gatherings. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Oil prices in 2020 were negative $36 a barrel. If they hit 200, it'll still even out to be within shooting distance of what it's been. And oil, like gas prices, were in the toilet at $1.84 or $1.50 in some places because nobody was going anywhere. You had to sell it cheap just to get it through the tanks, just to get some action, just to get people pulling up and filling their tank and doing something. Of course you did. Nobody was. Now that where everybody's going everywhere again, the price is going to go up and even that out. But all this talk about economics, that pretends 2020 didn't happen is a bunch of bullshit, and it drives me crazy. Yeah. Can Zuckerberg smile? I don't know. It depends on your definition of smile. I mean, some people think their dog smiles. So, you know what I mean? Anyways, all right. I will talk to you guys later. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I will see you this afternoon at our regular time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. We're almost at 30,000 on YouTube. Subscribe and pass the show around. Introduce it to someone. It's going to be a good time today. I will see you guys later on. Okay. Bye-bye.